Okay. Next step is the actual beam. So what I did, I'm actually going to restart it. It's very simple. I'm just gonna close this one as well. I'm gonna delete this. So I'm simply going to create a new particle emitter. Um I'm going to give it a different location. So if you type initial location, if you get initial location, you can give it a value of like 150 over here. I just want to displace it while we work on it. Then we're gonna have to actually sync those together. Well, you are. I'm not gonna do this. But yeah, we have those particles coming out of it now. Let's just change this to type data mesh again. And we're going to get the other mesh that I made, which is mesh beam. It's whatever is being shot out of that slash. So right now it's too big. Let's just change this to 1, 1, 1. And let's remove the velocity. Well, it's going to have some forward velocity afterwards, but that will be up for you to animate this. I'm simply going to help you with the material. So we have the mesh. Make sure that override material is checked on. And if I open up 3ds Max, you can see that it also has some baked vertex alpha into it. So it fades towards the back. It also fades at the front over here. And it's cross mesh with this front view over there. So I actually created a new texture because I know that last year when I did this, the material was set up differently. But now I'm just gonna click import. It's a very simple texture that is like this, a gradient that goes from left to right. I actually have all these names reversed. I'm calling horizontal gradient when it's actually fading vertically. But anyway, so I've got this gradient over there. I'm just gonna import this one. It's easy to do. If you don't have Photoshop, I guess I can always put it up on Discord or Canvas, whichever is faster. So now I have this, and I'm gonna get to why we need this later. So I'm just gonna delete this instance that I created too. So this is our material. So we are going to create an instance from it. We're gonna call it fxmi for fx material instance underscore sword beam. Let's go with sword beam underscore 01. And let's open it up. So right now, if we simply go in here and assign the material, we're not seeing much, but we pretty much have a lot of the controls that we need to make it work. So right now in the preview over here, it's using the slash, so let's set it to beam so that we can see it directly here. So this is the beam with all the default options that we have in the material for the slash. So this mesh will need different gradients now. So the static, the alpha over here, let's put everything to a white texture actually for a start. All right, so this is what it looks like by default. So static alpha, we can get the new texture that I just imported, which is this one. So that it fades a bit on the sides. It's a bit, just a little bit less rough. I like it better like this. And yeah, it already has some baked vertex alpha into it. And what we need uh, is to actually make this move. And you know what? We also need the alpha to use a gradient because it's a bit too bright all through the entire body. And I'm going to use this one, horizontal 5. Yes, yes, exactly that one. Looks a much better. So Yeah, we need some speed, but we didn't set it up before, so we can go and set it up now. So let's just go and open up our material again, which I had closed. And now we're going to create some controls to have speed for that noise over here. But it doesn't mean that we need to use it for the slash. We can just leave it at 0, and then we can change the value inside of the instance over here. So for this, we need to right click and get a panner, or I believe that just holding P and clicking brings up a panner. Yes. So we need to plug the coordinates up here. We plug this there. And if we want to actually control the speed, we're going to need to press S on the keyboard and get ourselves two parameters. One that we will call X noise X tiling, and the other one we will call it noise Y tiling. And I don't know why it just gave a default value of 25.25. Oh, not tiling. Ah, this is why. Yeah, it's now that we have the same name, it's grabbing the value that's in here, but it's not tiling that we want. It's speed. I got confused over there. All right, so let's put it to speed. And like we always do, let's just put this back to 0 so that the default value is set so that it doesn't move. But like we always do, we need to append vector. We need to append these two values together. And we need to plug this inside of our speed there. And now we can just drag this back a bit. And now we save. So, it's not done. All right, so this is still appearing exactly the way it was before. But if we go in here and we enable the speeds over there, and we put a value. Oh yeah, if you're not seeing anything happening when you insert a value, if it's not moving, it's probably because the viewport is set to not real time. If you check this here, yeah, now it's being now it's actually playing whatever is happening. So X speed is not the one that we want. We want Y speed, and I guess we want the speed to go the other way around, like this, minus 0.5 maybe. So now we have our material, and what we need to do once we have this, well, we just save it. We go inside of our particle system over here. Let's click restart. Something's wrong somewhere. Hold on. Maybe it's color over life. Let's just make sure that the alpha, what's going on over there? Alpha is set to 1. We're actually going to change this later to make it fade away. But what's going on? Everything's fine here. Did I just forget to save? Did I actually apply the material? Sort beam. That's the one. Okay. Color over lifetime. Let's just set it to a constant value of 1. Huh. Maybe it's something to do with the dynamic. I'm gonna get the dynamic parameter. Click refresh. Constant value of 1. No, I want this. That's it. Yeah, I want this value to be set to 0 by default. So I just had to add the dynamic parameter and set it to 0, because otherwise, yeah, we were simply getting an offset. So if I put it to 0.5, 0.75, and then 1, it's almost gone. I guess this is sort of like whatever small lines that we're seeing is some kind of, not garbage, but some imprecision in the way that it reads the texture. So anyway, let's put this to 0, and yeah, we're gonna have to do 2 emitters for each sides of the X that is being slashed away. So I guess it would be nice to also use the offset that we created, the random offset. Uh, so over here we can do exactly the same thing that we did inside of our first emitter that we should rename actually. I'll just rename this to slash, and I'll just rename that one to beam. So if we go in dynamic over here, we can set it to a uniform value between 0 and 1. And it's looking like this because we need to click spawn time only, so that every time it spawns, it's different. And oh yeah, right now we have 20 of them overlapping. So let's just set it to 1. So we get this. And you know, I like the color on the slash over here, but I don't like it so much on the actual beam. So what if I go here and we created this parameter earlier called color gradient multiplier. If I put this to 5 instead, 5 is looking better. I like to have more of the reddish tone being uh, more dominant, I guess, for this one. Otherwise, it's too bright. But what also looks weird is that right now the pattern is sort of going through the entire thing. It would be nice if the front of it was actually uh, completely bright all the time. So we're gonna do this in the next video.